This
I was
conference will now be recorded.
I was repeating that world is switching over to containers. So whatever site, whatever important sites or applications that you are now accessing, whether it is Amazon, whether it's Google, Flipkart, anything that has a huge followings or there is a huge hit number of hits, all those services are now delivered using containers. The simple reason being containers can be replicated effortlessly as and when the demand increases, as and when demand decreases their numbers could be reduced. Even they are delivered using multiple nodes configured in clusters. Okay, these clusters nodes numbers can also be automatically increased or decreased using container orchestration technology. So while the container course delivery that I am presenting, which the last day is today, this will this will increase your or improve your understanding of containers in general. The most important thing we would like to align you to learn a pick up any of the container orchestration technology, or one of them is OpenShift, which is the fastest growing, because the people who have developed from the very beginning engaged in the development of container orchestration is Red Hat. And Red Hat has the largest pool of people or developers engaged in container orchestration tool like Kubernetes, and also container orchestration operating system like CoreOS. CoreOS is also owned by Red Hat. In addition to that, other like Service Mesh, like Istio, like Kilia, all these you'll come to know about. They are the cutting edge technology which are increasingly become integral part of container orchestration. And Red Hat's OpenShift integrates all these cutting edge tools, which is why it has become one of the most attractive orchestration tool of choice, in particular where people want in premises as well as hybrid in cloud, that kind of deployment. All those organizations are already adopting OpenShift. For example, Indian banks, international banks. Okay, so all of them are already adopting. In fact, unofficially I can say nearly 15 to 20% of IBM people engaged in cloud operation delivery are already asked to get trained in OpenShift. I have already delivered multiple trainings for them, so you can pretty much understand what's the role of OpenShift. Though IBM itself has a cloud container orchestration platform, which to me it appears they are in favor of discontinuing that in favor of OpenShift. Okay, so I am primarily a container orchestrator or automation, a consultant. Okay, I do not regularly deliver classes as such, but whenever there is something new or latest, I usually my service is engaged in such cases. Now, complete opens. I work for Prodevance, a company which is engaged in solution delivery, but I also deliver training for both Red Hat and complete open source solution as and when situation necessitates. Right now, complete open source software, they are they have already declared a special scheme for people who are interested to get certified or get trained and make maximum use of this lockdown situation. So for that, these exclusive benefits that they have declared, I have right now sharing this. You can pretty much see my screen. That is, there is a massive savings of 25,000 rupees for Docker for enterprises. Then 20% off on Red Hat Open Batch training virtual till May 2020 only for the Docker training participants. People who have participated in this training, they are going entitled for a 20% special discount. Avail current BOGO offer that I am going to show in my next slide. Additional benefits from cross free exam oriented session for the enrolled modules. That means if you enroll for a particular module, so there will be special sessions particularly targeted for people for making you experts so that you are in a position to take the examination and clear it. Provide feedback post LinkedIn on this session, and great prioritized admission in future free course from course, and best three LinkedIn feedback will receive additional 5% discount. So please note that. So I'll request all of you to make sure that you give your feedback, even if it's negative. I don't mind, and that is not, you should not be sharing it. Whether both negative and positive helps us to improve our delivery. So I'll request everybody to please make post your LinkedIn feedback and share this delivery in your LinkedIn pages. That would be of great help for institution like us to survive in these difficult troubled times. Complete open source solution, fast track your learning 20%. For further details, you can get in touch with the people. Shiva is always available to you. And I am not the sales guy because I have the sales nitty gritties. That is the cost, how much you should are expected to pay for each of them. Yeah, the amount you are going to get in terms of discount, etc. Those things you can get. You can engage yourself into a conversation with Shiva, and accordingly you will be communicated. Okay, so take advantage of these benefits. I'll request you to register before 31st May. If you buy a virtual training, get virtual classroom on the same course for free. Buy one virtual classroom role, get any VC role free. Okay. Free exam orientation sessions, 20% off on any two courses from core course for next 1 year. Finally, the course that I am suggesting all of you to enroll to, that is Red Hat OpenShift Container Platform Administration, one of which I am planning to deliver personally for course beginning the first week of May. It could be somewhere around 10, 11 or so. I am planning to deliver because Red Hat has just introduced the latest OpenShift version 4.4, 4.3, and there are not many trainers who can deliver it. Uh, I am already engaged in 4.2 actual. I am a practitioner of OpenShift, and also I am pretty much exposed to training for last more than 20 years, you can say. So, to great advantage of this, please enroll before during the first week of May itself. Okay, now why should you join for this? Now just make a check the amount of demand for OpenShift administrators in internet. Okay, once you get certified, you can claim yourself that you are a master in container orchestration technology. Okay, and you can yourself post your resume. If you are in a serious mood to switch your current stream, then you can always get in touch with me, send me your resume. I can help you to promote your resume to many of the companies. The reason being, we are one of the leading OpenShift solution delivery partner for Red Hat. We wherever we deliver the OpenShift container solution as a partner, we also, most of these company also require OpenShift professionals. So we also recommend them from our pool of resources. So that makes sense. While we not only train, we recruit for our own ProDevons professional container orchestration delivery organization, and also we recommend our customers from this pool of resources that we already have. Of course, before promoting you to a customer's place, we make a special preparation of you so that you are in a position to attend or reply to all the preparatory questions that the customer will make before recruiting you, so you get a further interview call from our professionals for preparing you to port you to the customer's place. Okay, so these are the great advantages that are waiting, and DO280 is in fact going to be, or getting certified in OpenShift is going to be the certification of for next couple, if not for next 5 years. The way it is, the way it is extending its grief over corporate, I can see that for next couple of years or next 5 years, you could be sure there will be a huge demand for container orchestration, and OpenShift will be the default choice of technology. More importantly, if you master OpenShift, you could be sure you have mastered Kubernetes also. Even if its the opening is not on OpenShift, you can apply for any container orchestration platform, including Amazon EKS or Google Kubernetes platform or Azure Kubernetes platform. So by certifying for this, you can pretty much confidently apply, or you can say that I am fit for any kind of container orchestration platform in the cloud. Okay, so having said that, I will request all of you, just as a confirmation, that you all have shared or have uh, posted it in LinkedIn. If you have already done it, please say yes or okay on this chat window. That would be of great relief to me, that yes, the initiative that we am taking, it's at least giving me some results, giving us some results. Okay, can you do that? Okay, great. So people are responding. That's good to see. And please make sure you respond to it. And Shiva, if you are listening, then I'll request you to create a WhatsApp group. Make me the administrator and send me the link and share that WhatsApp group number here. Okay.
Sir, this is Rajan. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't. I'm joining this class from first day, but I'm
Okay.
not getting any video or any link. So
Okay.
I'm not sure with the.
Then it makes all the sense. Then you join this WhatsApp group. Okay. So you can directly. I have already shared my number too. So for that WhatsApp number, Shiva is going to create. You join in that WhatsApp group, and whatever that you have to say, you post it. Okay.
Okay, sure.
So
Chancel sir,
yes,
Shiva
please.
here.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I will create the WhatsApp group and I will share the link in the chat box to everyone. And that is authorized from the course. And we will give all the documents and we will send the support to you if any doubt in the document. And Chancel
So
sir also will
you
be there for you.
Yes. So because here the promise I'm making, so Shiba, make sure that I get that link to it, and I'm also admin of that WhatsApp group. The reason is, here everybody is going to see me because I am making all the promises. If the promises are fail, my promises fail, isn't it? Okay. So I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to like to make sure whatever promises that I make, I stick to it. Okay. So
Sir, another thing.
great.
So Susma ma'am is here. Susma ma'am is
Yes.
here. So she want to speak something.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you
Shushma
there?
wants to. Okay. Sushma, are you there?
Oh, very good. Yes, good morning, Chantal sir. Sushma here.
Good morning. Good morning,
Uh,
Sushma. You have something to add, so please take charge.
uh, yes, a very warm good morning to all of you. We see that amidst this lockdown, spending time and upgrading skills has been very important, and using our time efficiently has become a priority today. And I am really thankful to COS for creating these sessions and helping all. to upgrade themselves and be updated with the knowledge and spend the time efficiently. Because if you don't come out of this lockdown with a new skill, more knowledge, or better health and fitness, then we have not lacked time, we've actually lacked discipline. So I thank Chanchal sir for all these efforts, for making this a very interactive session. So we see that we've already come to an end of this session of Docker. So I am representing the Prodemons here, and I request all the participants, as Chantal sir mentioned, feedbacks and suggestions always make us work more efficiently or wherever required ahead as well. So, being a part of this team, I would like to talk to you based on the session, what you all have gone for, undergone these 3 days, and today being the end of this day. I would like to know all your feedbacks, either personally or through chats. I'll be getting in touch with you all during the session or before the end of the session. It would really help us to work more creatively or more better ahead with all your suggestions and feedbacks. So I hand it over to Chanchal sir to take care of the session where he'll cover the rest of the topics, and I'll get back to you all for the feedback session. Thank you, Chanchal sir. Have a great day.
Thank you, Shushma. So, of all of you, Shushma is asking for your direct feedback to her. So, in the event, if you feel like, how is it last day? Okay, how is it last day? Because this is a 4 day session, so 3 days session has already been delivered, and so that's why it is the last day. Okay, so uh, for you, it is the first day, Raju Shekhar and Rajendra Prasad. Okay, so people for whom it is the first day, I'll make sure you get the recording for the first 2 days also. In the event, if you have any confusion, you may even raise some questions that I'll try my level best to attend to in our WhatsApp group. Okay, now usually I discourage questions that has to do with a practical problem that you are facing in your organizational delivery. That usually uh, when you it is a question that has to do with a conceptual clarity, I always attend to that. Okay, so people for whom it is the first day, I'm going to share the recording for the first 3 days too. Okay, and my documentation itself will cover. For example, you may not need the recording even, because my documentation itself will cover of everything that I have talked about. I have practiced it. So if you have the very second day's recording, that could be enough for you to cover, or if you are attending today's session. Okay, so second day's recording itself, I covered everything that I did in first day itself, and then started my session. Okay, so anyway, so let's get started with the actual topic. I could assure you that today's topic is the most important. As of now, whatever we have done in Docker, we have created containers using Dockers. But real world application delivery, it is not Docker. It is not Docker that is used for container orchestration. Rather, it is OpenShift Kubernetes distribution. Okay, or similar other Kubernetes distribution. Okay, but that knowledge of Docker that is required is how to containerize an application. How to containerize an application, that's what I am going to talk about today. Okay, and this session will help you to create container from ground up. All the containers that you do will be designed by you from ground up. So this is a continuation from yesterday's session. In yesterday's session, we started with a, no, not this one. Okay. Okay. Uh, Okay, so this is the Docker file. This is the my, I hope my screen is visible to everybody. Okay, so
Yep.
okay, great. So since my screen is already visible to everybody, so let's get down to business. That is, I'm going to start from today Docker file. If you have attended yesterday's session, you must have seen how we have created a container from an existing container. Okay, and we have dynamically edited the read write layer of the container, and thereafter we committed our changes. Then we have pushed our container to intern Docker Hub. So hopefully you all have created your Docker Hub account. Some people have already verified and give me the feedback. They have already created their Docker Hub account. Okay, I am also having a Docker, I have multiple Docker Hub accounts. Okay, so one of these possibly I started using yesterday only. Okay, so that one is Chanchal Prodevans. Okay, and this my Ubuntu repository that you see was created yesterday during the course of this delivery. And how to all of you are expected to create an account in Docker Hub, and thereafter how to create and upload your container image, that part I have already delivered. Today I am going to show you how you can create your own Docker file, and using Docker file how you can start, okay, creating your own containers. So I'm going to do a detachable start. This is the virtual machine that I'm using from day 3. Okay, and those of you joined late, I have already shared that you don't have to install this virtual machine as such. There is an open virtual appliance or OVA file, the link of which I have already shared. If you have not received the link, I'll share it again if necessary. Okay, and this virtual appliance has a user vagrant already built in. Okay, and you can, so this virtual appliance has one IP address 140. I am not going to use this virtual appliance directly from Oracle VirtualBox. Rather, I use MOBA Xterm to log into this virtual machine. Why I do so? Because it gives me the advantage of copying, pasting commands from the remote host. So what is the IP of my remote host? It is 192.168.31.140. Let us come back to MOBA Xterm, up arrow. Okay, great. So I hope my screen is visible to you. I have enlarged the font so that you can see. I am doing an SSH to the remote system. I have logged into the remote system. Okay. First of all, you need to verify whether Docker is running or not. I have not system systemctl enable Docker. This command you have not run, then it is not going to enable Docker. So we need to make sure that Docker is started. Sudo systemctl or systemctl start Docker. That will make sure that Docker has started. Okay, and if I now do a Docker ps, we can see a one particular container is already up and running. Okay, so now I can close this window. Okay, since I have made a detachable start, I can send it to the background so that it will not engage the real estate of my desktop. Okay, so uh, okay, okay. So as I have already declared, I will be sharing this day 3 and day all the recordings to everybody. Okay, people who have not received, please make a request to that WhatsApp group. I'll check in that WhatsApp group whatever request that comes to that group. I'll definitely be attending to them. Now let's start with our actual learning, that is Docker file. What is a Docker file? Docker file is a plain text file. Okay, and this using this, you can create your own container image. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. Okay, so I'll follow precisely the document as it is documented in that. So I first of all, to create a container, you just create a separate folder. Not necessarily it has to be named as sample image. The name could be anything. Okay, and thereafter cd to that sample image folder. Okay, make sure you just create a file named docker file. It's important the name of the file should be docker file. Okay, so usually I use vim as my default choice of editor because vim also supports highlighting. So name of the file should be docker file, D capital. It is it is case sensitive. Okay, so make sure D is capitalized. So vim docker file. Okay, insert, then from Ubuntu. The first line says from Ubuntu. I'm copying everything just the way it is there. Okay, I'm copying it just to save your time. Just to save your time. Okay, and okay, here it is. The first line says I would like to create a container, but it should start with a base image Ubuntu. Okay. And next, on top of that Ubuntu image, apply update so that it should be updated. Thereafter, install Apache 2. Apache 2 is the HTTPD server, and then install Apache 2 utils. Once you have done it, apt-get clean command will remove all the cache, that all the files that have been cached by yum get update and all this. Okay, so cached files will be cleaned. Why it is cleaning is important? Because that will make your container efficient, smaller. It would take less time to get downloaded. Finally, it should expose. These two commands should be in two different lines. Expose this particular keyword. Make sure when the container is instantiated, port 80 will be open. Okay, somebody raised a question yesterday whether I can open multiple ports or not. Yes. Okay, if you just put multiple port names with space separated multiple ports, it will open up multiple ports. Now next, cmd. Cmd is the last command that is executed. Okay, this command will make sure it executes Apache CTL as the commands with -d, and all these are space separated parameters. Okay, cmd is the last command. So you can see you cannot start multiple services within a container. The reason being, there could be only one cmd. If you put multiple cmd line, only the last one will be executed. So even if I want to start 3 different services, one SSH service, one Apache service, and all that I have in mind, container is not going to allow you to do that. Why so? Because container is by default designed to deliver only one thing. Okay, it is designed to do only one thing, and it should do that efficiently. So this is what your docker file is all about. Okay, so if you do a cat docker file, you can see this is my docker file. Now you can start building your Docker. Okay, so for doing
Sir,
that,
I have one question actually.
yes,
So,
please.
as per this Docker file, it's mandatory to start from any OSS. Just like you started from Ubuntu, so we need to have either any distros, just like Ubuntu or RHEL 8 or
Got your
RHEL
point.
7.
I got your point. I got your point. Okay, that means whether it is compulsory to start with a operating system, no. Later on, I'm going to talk about how you can create your own container right from scratch. Okay, So I'll come back to that. It is not necessary that you should be creating a container on the basis of a base distribution, but
What?
usually it makes sense because somebody else who is master at creating a container has creating it. Usually when you type from Ubuntu, they are usually official image. If since it's an official image, they take great care, and people who have mastered the art of container creation, they have created this container. Okay, so the container is by default expected to be efficient and secured. Okay, but yes, if you have a compelling reason to create your own container from ground up, that also we are going to attend to. Okay, okay.
Is it the
So
last Apache 2 CTL? Is that the service or something else?
yes, Apache CTL to CTL is the command. For example, in Red Hat Linux or CentOS, it is HTTPD. Okay, so similarly in Ubuntu or Debian based distribution, it is Apache 2 CTL. Okay, so now the command is docker build. Okay, then docker build minus minus tag or minus t. If you forget what is to be typed next, you can press tab twice. Usually if the command completion is not taking place, you can do a minus minus help. So docker build will tell you what are the
And what is
additional
minus D
parameters.
indicates?
Yes, minus t. Okay.
Minus D foreground indicates.
No, 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 no. Actually, we are not creating a container instance. Okay. We are creating an image, Docker image. When you do a minus D means you are trying to create a container instance. So that is I am repeating it again. Using this Docker file, what is the purpose of this Docker file? Using this Docker file, we are going to create an image, Docker image, and that Docker image will be used to create container instance. That means we are creating a container image, not an image that is going to be downloaded from Docker Hub. So our Docker build command is going to create an image. So minus D parameter you pass on when you are creating a container instance and send it to the background to run in a detached mode. So minus T stands for tag. Okay, let's my Apache. I am tagging this means the container image, the Docker image that will be created will have a name my Apache, and then if you put a dot means current directory, then what Docker build will do, it will take a look into the current directory to find out whether there is any Docker file is there or not. And the moment it sees it, what it will do, it will start executing all the commands parameters that you can see in the Docker file one by one. So if I press enter, first of all it reads from Ubuntu, so it is downloading the Ubuntu image. Once it downloads the Ubuntu image, it will run apt-get updates. Because the Ubuntu image was already there in our image cache, so it didn't take any time to download. Rather, it is taking more time to apply the apt-get update. Apt-get update is just like update. Okay, so it will apply all the updates that are available and the Docker Ubuntu repository, and thereafter it is going to uh, install that package. So command bin sh reading package list, building dependency tree, leading state information, unable to locate package y. Okay, Apache 2 apt-get install running this. Okay, the command bin 0 non-code. So it appears to me there is something terribly wrong with this. Either in our Docker file Apache 2, this command apt-get install Apache 2, it has failed. So can we investigate where things are going wrong? Because I have just copied it from a document which I have executed earlier about 1.5 years back. I do not know whether this has changed or not. Okay, the package name. If you are in my position, what you will do? Hmm? If you are in my position,
I will. We can
So
just run
what we
manual.
can do, we can run the base OS. I mean, we can log into the base OS and we can test whether that particular Apache 2 has been installed or not. I mean,
wonderful.
manually.
That's the answer. That's the answer I just wanted from your mouth. That is, you are asking me, that is Docker, okay, and then run, okay, -d -it, okay, and then you minus name, let us give an instance, test Ubuntu or UB, and then we put the name of the distribution or name of the container image as Ubuntu, and then bin bash. What this will do, this will create a detached instance of Ubuntu in the background. So now what we can do, as suggested by my attendees, Docker exec, okay, and then -it, and then name of our container is testub. So I can type testub/bin/bin/bash. Okay, so we are getting inside that container. We expect that apt-get update should be working fine. Okay, first of all, I am running this command. Okay, so there is nothing, no problem there. Okay,
So in the middle, if we are getting any error, for example, installing the Apache 2, so in that case, the Apache get update, it won't be happen, right, to that particular image. I mean, if the second or third command will be have failed, the first command itself it won't be successful, right?
no, no. It tries to create a new image step by step. Okay, even the first command is successful. If the third command fails, then image creation will stop. So ultimately, our purpose is to create an image, isn't it,
Yeah,
using this Docker file? But if
yeah.
any of the steps fails, final container image will not be created. So where things are going wrong, we are trying to investigate that in a step-by-step methodical fashion. It's good that we have failed. So what is happening now? Okay, apt-get install -y, install apt-get install -y Apache 2. Okay, okay, I don't find there is anything wrong. Okay, so it is working wonderfully well. Okay, so let me find out where things are going wrong. There is a strong possibility some hidden characters have been copied on my Docker file, which is not visible apparently, but it is causing havoc. Where from I am
Hello,
coming to? Yes.
can you do that cat docker file means the file should be in ANSI. So if you do file of that docker file, it will show what kind of file it is. Then you can convert using DOS to Unix to that file.
Thank you. Thank you. That is one way. It has to be a normal ANSI text file. So if it's not a text file, file command itself will show you, and thereafter you can convert it. Okay. So uh, that is one of the reason. Just let me go on to do this. Just to check everything is all right. The second command that we have used was what? Apache 2 utils, isn't it? So what is that command, that second command we have executed in the Docker file? I just wanted to check whether everything is all right in the Docker file itself. But when I have copied and pasted, you have noticed some extraneous characters got copied. And possibly it is not a normal ANSI text. Okay. So I am going to copy it and paste it again here. Okay. So here I'm going to paste it again, as you can see. Controls. Okay. as you can see, Control L, if I go pasting it here, there are some extraneous characters that is coming. That is possibly because this itself contains those hidden characters. Okay, it's not in ANSI texts. Okay, and okay, so Apache 2 utils done, building dependency tree is upgraded because Apache is already the newest version that is already downloaded. So there is absolutely nothing wrong. Okay, so it appears to me that uh, our problem is to do with, so I am going to log out from this, control D, okay, and ls, okay, and if I use this command file, docker file, okay, it is UTF Unicode text. So DOS to Unix command is right now not installed. I don't want to go to uh, that. So I am going to edit this file, vim docker file. What I'm going to do, the major problem was this here. Okay, then this minus y. I am going to change this, insert, okay, then minus y. Yes, you can see the minus is different. Okay, so that was because I copied from a document here. So there is a strong possibility this may also have caused some problem. You see these inverted commas. So I'm going to remove this inverted comma. Yes, these inverted commas are also different. Okay, so I am changing them because I have copied and pasted this from a internet document, that is a Word file, and they contain some hidden characters or UTF, not ANSI text. So that's why it is different. So hopefully I have corrected everything here. And now if I save this file and if I remove the previous docker build command, how to repeat it? Control R, build build. This is the command that I have used earlier, isn't it? So let's do it. So these are the pitfalls associated with copying pasting. Okay, so whenever you do a copy pasting from a PDF document or for a Word document or things like that, these extraneous characters, because they render text in a different format, that is UTF 8, and this is not ANSI text, and those hidden characters come into picture when you copy them. Okay, yes, unpacking. So package installation, everything is taking place. Wonderful. Okay, India is 9, isn't it? Yes, 9. Then it's taking a lot of time. Geographic area 9, and next. Anyway, so meanwhile, while it is taking place, I would like to add something about Docker containers, these Docker file parameters. The very first line, from, indicates or identifies which base operating system you would like to use. Okay, usually people who want an efficient, fully functional operating system, they use Sleek Debian. Okay, Sleek Debian, or even more efficient like uh, Android, then people use Alpine. Okay, so they are the most and small sized operating container images. Alpine has been created by an operating system that is created by Docker Inc. itself. Okay, and if you want to use a Red Hat image, then you can also use UBI or Red Hat UBI image. That means if you want to create a container image using Red Hat's image, earlier it was not possible to use any of Red Hat images. The reason being Red Hat was not distributing any of these container images for free. So now what really has happened in internet, all the containers that are available are either Ubuntu, CentOS and all. Realizing that Red Hat has now made it available so that you can start using Red Hat's universal base image. These universal base images have one advantage: they are redistributable, in the sense that if you create a container, you can distribute it. Earlier, that was not allowed. So only if you use these UBI images, then only you can redistribute it. Only one problem is, you can open this, for example, Rails 7. Only one problem is, if you want to make any changes on these base images too, you need to have some sort of subscriptions. Okay, so how to use those base images? Red Hat has provided extensive documentation. So I will share these pages, these links on the here, so that in the event, if you feel like, you can access this link. Okay.
Sir, can you explain about redistribution as you mentioned?
Okay. See, uh, when I said you can use universal base image, something is going wrong here. I don't know what is going wrong. Geographic area 9, configuring TZ data presenter located in subsequent configure representing the time date. Yesterday we have already done this, but why it is taking so much time? Is there some problem with in the container itself? It's not being, it's able to connect. Okay.
So is there any kind of utilizations is more in the host machine that we can check?
Is there any?
I mean, kind of performance. I mean, maybe the utilization is more or something like that. So it is waiting for some IO kind of stuff.
I don't think so, because this OS is only running one virtual machine. Okay, I am using this system for running 16 virtual machines parallelly. Okay, so because I use complete enterprise delivery experimentation on my laptop itself. Okay, it's a 64 GB laptop, and so that performance issue is not an issue. The only thing that could be, somehow or other, it was losing internet connection or something like that while it was executing. In fact, this has worked yesterday also. We have already created a my Ubuntu image yesterday, on which we have installed Apache CTL. Okay, so and that worked perfectly, and we have already uploaded that. Okay, so let's say one Africa, whatever it is, the default is, now it is not one. Okay, geographic area is 9. Yesterday, whatever that came to my mind, I used that. And only when the moment we use this geographic area, somehow or other it is stalling. Okay. I'm not really too sure why.
We can't see the current. I mean, we can't see any kind of log, right? I mean, any logs in this.
I can try to. Because this doesn't have log, because it is not creating a container. Had it been a container, then you can see the log. Okay.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
this
what
is
I'm trying to say, yeah, if in the VM itself, if we could see some log in the
in the
van
VM
log
itself,
messages,
I can log into that VM. Yes. Okay. And
at least we can get to know something if anything.
yes, so whether it is connected to, okay, internet connectivity is there or not, you can do a google.com. So that is the first thing that comes to my mind. Okay, whether it is completely connected, there is absolutely no issues, and
So
super
in the
fast net
van log,
speed.
yeah, in the
And
van log
if I do a
messages,
tell f /verilog messages, okay, and permission denied. Okay, no issues.
So sudo.
Okay, Docker port, this carrier link connected, user vagrant info, network manager, device entered forwarding state, link becomes ready, ETH0 link becomes ready, link is not ready, ETH0 address config, netdev address, netdev chance, change ETH0 link becomes ready,
So
ETH0 link.
specifically Docker kind of stuff, any logs will be triggered in the VM?
Yes,
No.
yes, the Docker kind of stuff is Docker 0 port 3 entered blocking state, entered forwarding state, it has forwarded and connected. Okay, so that means Docker's containers network is addressed by managed by Docker 0. That is the bridge device. In fact, this is one presentation that I've already prepared to make you understand what is Docker 0 and what is this bridge device. And this wait device that you are seeing, that is the other end of that is attached to the container, and so it is forwarding, it is gone into a forwarding state. Okay.
Hello,
But
Chintan sir.
yes,
Yeah. Can you type this command, add this line, run apt-get install -y tz in the Docker file, and run the Docker file again, build the image, please. That will bypass the geographic area information and install the time zone.
okay, control C, control L. Okay, Docker build, instead let's this Docker file. Okay, so apt-get
Paste that
install.
command in that.
Yes.
Yeah. After that, yeah, install -y tz data.
-y and tz data.
After that, next line.
Okay, in the next line.
Yes, please.
In the next line, I should be using, I will have to do a run. If I go to the next line, it is a separate command because the first command itself is not getting executed. So
after the update, like I'm saying, after the update.
After the update. Okay. Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, after the update, this has to be, okay, insert and then apt-get update. So apt-get install tz data.
-y tz data.
Install tz data. Okay. In fact, this file has already been tested number of times, and yesterday also this has worked. Okay. We don't know why it is not working because the image that you have created yesterday. So you feel that that will work? Okay. Let's see. Hopefully. Okay. In fact, using this 7 command, we have created a container yesterday, and there was absolutely no problem with that. Okay. Yes, it has taken the tz data first, and thereafter it automatically. So that means yesterday tz data was already there in the previous image. So that's why it was working fine. Okay, thanks for the advice anyway. So let's change in the documentation also, because when you are going to use this documentation, so who is the advisor? May I know his name?
Sir, Damodar.
Damodar, thank you. Thank you, Damodar, for contributing, making valuable contributions to the overall learning. Okay, so and
thank you,
in
sir.
the way, in the way you have made your presence felt. Okay. So this kind of interactions and contributing to the classroom, I am always very favorable to, because as a Linux administrator or a Linux practitioner, you always know it's so vast that you can always get some kind of inputs on new inputs.
So while building, if you haven't give any name by T, what the default name it will take, sir, the image?
What's the default name? Try it. Okay, it will generate a dynamic name. Okay, and will not have attached any name to it. Okay, so okay, so successfully built this. This is the, usually this will become the actual name of your image, not container. Now, if you do a Docker images, okay, Docker images that will show you that a new image has come up and its name is My Apache. If you have not given this My Apache thing, the container would have been named with this build ID this, okay, which is there. You can see it, image ID. Okay, so My Apache is there. Now we need to push it to our container, that is Docker Hub. So let's go back to Docker Hub. I don't know where I have opened that Docker Hub thing. Okay, Docker Hub, here it is. Okay, so I need to create a new repository here. Create repository, Chanchal Prodevans, My Apache, My Apache, okay, and Apache test image. That's all. And hopefully creating. Okay, that has been created. So now I need to push here. So you can very much copy it from here. Okay, Docker push Chanchal Prodevans tag me, right click. I am going to copy it and paste it here. Okay, instead of tag me, I'll do a V1 or latest, whatever you want. I'm
So
taking
you have
the
to tag
easy
it.
path.
You have to tag
Usually,
it,
even
right?
if you don't tag it, it will by default put the latest tag. Okay, so or if you want to tag it in version 1, version 2, something like that, each build you can have a separate build. Okay,
And
so
you have to Docker login also. You have to do that, right?
yes, thank you. Yesterday we have done the before pushing, we have done a login, and that's what we have not done today. So we have failed. So thank you, and that is expected. First of all, for before pushing, you need to do a Docker login. So because I have already done the login yesterday, so it has tried with the existing one.
You
So
have
it
to tag
automatically
it. Tag it.
I have to tag it. Yes. Yesterday we also faced the same problem and it failed. Okay. Because it will fail. So because I don't have any image, so I need to tag our existing image using the command docker tag and then My Apache. Sorry. Okay. My Apache latest to Chanchal Prodevans. So you need to tag it and then only it will be successful. Okay. Thank you. Usually facing the failure, then repeating it is a better method because we always learn from our failures, not success. Usually we don't remember. We are happy to achieve success, but it is only the failures that allows us to learn. Okay. So now let us do a pushing. Okay. While the pushing takes place, so this is the way you create a container image from a Docker file. Now somebody pointed out, can we not create a container from ground up? Yes, somebody must have created this container image, that Ubuntu container image from ground up. So these container images are known as base image. So the container image of Ubuntu that you have seen is a base image. In fact, I have an operating system named mostly Linux. So I will log into, not, I don't have to log in as such Docker Hub. Okay. In Docker Hub, if I search Chanchal, I have another repository which I am right now not using. Okay. So here it is Chanchal SSH client. Okay. Chanchal. If I go to this, here you will find I have lot many container images. Some of them are base images. For example, Chanchal at mostly Linux, Chanchal-mostly Linux. Mostly Linux is an operating system created by me. And since nobody is going to create a base image for this, I had to create a base image for this one. Okay. So similarly, somebody must create a base image. In fact, the image that was downloaded maximum from my repository is Rail 7.2. One of the reason is Rail 7 doesn't have a container image in internet when I created it 4 years back because it was unauthorized and piracy. But I didn't care on those days and Red Hat didn't take note of this. So this is a pirated image, so you should not be creating it. But I created it well back in 4 years and that was a base image. So how to create a container base image. Creating a container base image for CentOS or Red Hat is very tough, but creating one for Ubuntu or for that matter, let's now before even doing that, let's see whether last push never. Let us do a refresh. Okay, if we do a refresh, let's check whether the image has come or not. Last push never. Okay, last push 2 minutes ago. Yes, it has come with the tag latest. So now you can do public view. And if I take a public view, okay, here is the public view. So we can try it. We can copy, okay, and try try it here. Right click, paste, not Docker pull. We will create an instance itself just to check whether everything is all right with this container. Docker run, okay, -d, okay, minus name, and then the name of the container is, okay, what should I name it? Okay, workshop, works, okay, done. So great, whether it's listening, okay, docker ps, okay, yes, my Apache is listening on port 80 and testub is not listening on any port. Okay, so docker ps -l, okay, my Apache, there are two instances of my, okay. Yes, it's listening on port 80. Yes. So it's listening on port 80. That is the desired port on which we are expecting it to listen to. So both the images are up and running. So Works is also up and running and it is listening on port 80. If I do a curl, how do I ascertain the IP of this one? So you can do a docker inspect, okay, and then Works, and then pipe grep, okay, and then my capital IPA. So this is the IP address of this system. So let us do a curl of this. Curl this. Okay. So please use this. Okay. Along this thing has output has come. Okay. So you can see it is up and running. Okay. If you are a normal user, this is the default welcome page used to test the correct operations of Apache 2 server. So our image is working fine and it is right now serving pages. Okay, great. So next, let's get down to more business, that is building an Alpine image. Okay, how to build an Alpine image from ground up, that is already there in the document itself. I'm going to share this document. So I'm not going to consume your precise time by doing this entire exercise again. Okay, so I'll be sharing this so that you can try this. Setting up a private Docker registry. This we have.
Hello.
Sir, I have
So
one
in
question. So are
the
they
first
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
in the first Docker file, in the command we have mentioned Apache to CTL and -d followed by foreground, right? So here there are
Yes.
two services, right? Foreground is one service, right?
No. It's the first command itself is the service. -d demonize. Foreground, foreground is a parameter that Apache CTL to which you can pass on. Okay. In fact, now I'm going to expose you to the Docker file anatomy. Okay. If you are facing a Docker interview, interviewer is always going to ask you one question or two questions about Docker file. Why? The two questions are, what is the difference between add or copy in a Docker file? Docker file has various instructions. Okay. One is from, okay, another, I'm just taking 1 minute's break. Okay. Please bear with me. There is lots of background noise on my part. So I'm just giving you 2 to 3 minutes break. Okay. I hope you all will bear with me.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. Thanks for bearing with me. And as I said on the very first day, our home turf is not our home turf as such. It belongs to somebody else. And my better off was at its at her level best, cooking noisy Indian dishes. Okay. So now that noise is over, I hope you are not being able to listen to the noise in the background. Is it true?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, great. So see, we are
Sir,
not the master at home. Okay, I could be master in my office. I can post to be a master, but here it is not true. Anyway, so
sir, actually, I have one question. Sorry.
yes,
So,
please.
are there any prerequisites from where we are building the Docker build or Docker image from the machine? Where there do we need to install any extra packages or anything?
No, no, not really. I am just using from the very first day I showed you that you just install Docker. That's all. Docker
Okay.
build command, all those parameters are built into Docker. Okay. In fact, in the process, later on, I'm going to show you if you need to compile something for a binary, a C plus C code, and if you don't have the compiler also, Docker can create an intermediate container for building your compiling your code and create a final container that is also possible. That is known as multi-stage build. If possible, I'll be sharing that code also, okay, and demonstrate that. Anyway, so first let me make you communicate this. The most important parameters that these are usually from, so from usually signifies what is the base image. Okay, second, run command, as I said earlier, run command then parameters. In our case it was Apache 2 CTL. All the additional comma separated additional things are parameters, but label is something you can do. CMD instruction provides a default executable. Okay, now there is one thing I have not demonstrated, that is entry point. Excuse me, please. Hello, Srini. Right now I am in the process, in the midst of a delivery. Okay, so I'll talk you, call you back. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so and sorry, so entry point and CMD, usually entry point is the last command. In an interview, you'll come up with this question: what is the difference between entry point and CMD? Okay, usually if you use both of them, okay, then entry point makes your container executable in the sense an entry point will always be executed. Okay, but a CMD could be overridden. This statement doesn't make any sense to many of you, isn't it? I said if there is an entry point mention in your Docker file, the command in front of the entry point will be always executed. But if the last command is CMD, then it could be overridden. It's not making any sense to you. I'm going to make it clear. Okay. For example, in our Docker file, okay, the command is Apache 2 CTL, and we have executed using CMD. Okay. So if I create this container again using my Apache and name it as works2, okay, and use a command, okay, minus, let's not put it minus d, I'll just put it minus it, okay, and at the end of it in bash. Okay, so what has happened here? If you do a ps minus a psax, you'll find there is no Apache process running here. Only bash command is there. Why? actually, the moment this container is instantiated, so I hope I'm audible. The moment this container is instantiated, we expect that CMD Apache CTL command should be executed, isn't it? No. If your last command is executed using CMD, then you can override that CMD command. Okay. But had this been executed using entry point, it would not have been possible for me to override it. Okay. That is, whatever that is executed using entry point, it will not allow you to override that. If it's not clear, I can repeat it again. Okay. So the primary difference between entry point and CMD can be overridden and entry point cannot be overridden. So how CMD is used? CMD along with entry point both could be used, as CMD could be a parameter to an entry point. You can entry point executable parameters in that fashion, or you can mention the CMD as parameter like this. Okay. So entry point executable this and CMD as parameters. So entry point executables parameters could be overridden using CMD. Okay. So this is the most important difference. Okay. So Mithilesh, if it's not clear, I'm going to repeat it again. Okay. CMD can be overridden, as I have already shown in this exercise itself. I have overridden the last command Apache CTL that has not been executed. Rather, my bin bash command has been executed while creating the instance of the container. Okay. So CMD could be overridden, but had this been container created with the entry point, it would not have been possible for me to override that Apache CTL command. Okay, so that is the primary difference between entry point and CMD. But both entry point CMD could be used at the same time. One of the method of doing it is One of the reason for doing it is, if you want to pass on a parameter to entry point command, then you can pass on those parameters in CMD. Okay. So, so having said that, there is one more thing that in Docker interview you will be asked. What is the difference between add and copy? Okay. So you can pass on these parameters in a Docker file add. Usually add adds a folder or file and destination inside the container. Copy also does the same thing, but the major difference between add and copy is add can copy from an URL. That URL could be internet. So it will download that file or folder and put it inside the container. Copy can only copy it to the local. Okay. So there are various other parameters. Please refer to this page in the event if you go ever deeper into Docker file, that is Docker docs.docker.com has a huge reference. Okay. Docker file reference. Okay. If you go here, there is a Docker file reference page in docs.docker.com, one of the best places where you can delve deeper. Okay, so here this is, you can go into greater detail for each of the parameters. Okay, so and learn much more about the various parameters and what each of them do. Okay, so having said that, somebody asked how to create a base image. Okay. So Docker has a rich collection of base images. However, there could be a situation where you need to create one from scratch. In this section, we will use Deb Bootstrap. Okay. So Here is the method that I have already documented here step by step, how you can create a base boot image from ground up using this mkdir zinile and then sudo dev bootstrap, and thereafter you can follow this routine. Since this I'm going to share this document, you can try it and create your own base image. Okay, if you want, then I can also try it here. I don't have a problem there. Do you want me to do it? Okay, so I'm going to share this in the event. If you want to try creating a base image, please follow this documentation. So far as creating a Red Hat and CentOS base image, it's not very easy. There's a very old document available, okay, and that itself is not getting updated. And here also, if you go to the Docker base image, if you try to find out, okay, base image, Docker base image, then CentOS. You'll not find not create a base image Docker documentation. This is the Docker base image creation documentation. Okay, and this itself, while for Ubuntu based distribution, it can. There is a comprehensive documentation for CentOS, etc. You don't find anything here. Okay. Best practices. Is there any CentOS reference? GitHub, Docker build library, hello, Docker file. Yes, this is the one. Debian Ubuntu and on CentOS, SLC, etc. Okay. So if you go to this page, it takes you to a GitHub repository, and in this you get a bash shell script. Okay, and that shell script itself gives you how to create it. And this shell script is very old, dated, and usually it creates a bloatware, and it is likely to fail out of the box if you try to use it out of the box. So if you are trying to create a base image for a CentOS or something like that, you can use this GitHub repository shell scripts. Okay, but while if you are going to create a base image for Debian or Ubuntu, this page itself is very helpful. Okay. Okay. Or else my own container image file, this one could also help you easily create a base image for Ubuntu using dev bootstrap and all. Okay. So having said that, I'm not going to create a base image here. Okay. So you can try doing this. Now I'm going to talk about Docker automated build and base image, multi-stage builds. Okay, what is automated build? Docker automated build is basically, as of now, if you have any question, you can raise it here. Where will you share these documents? Okay, don't worry, I'll share these documents. That's why I said share your WhatsApp number. We are going to create a WhatsApp group, and in that group itself I'll share it, or if possible using email or something like that. I'd like to make sure that participation has taken place here, and to each of you I'm going to share this document. Absolutely no, you should not have any doubt about that. Okay. Okay. So having said that, now I'm going to talk about automated build. What is automated build? Automated build is something like this. Okay. I already have an automated build page. Okay. I would like to show you, and the document itself, I have created this document. This is not only automated build, this is multi-stage build. What is multi-stage build? Multi-stage build is, for example, let's assume in your container you want to compile a C code. Okay, for example, this is my C code. Okay, and this I would like to, this name is app.c. Okay, and this I would like to compile. Okay, and finally insert my compiled executable inside the container. But For compilation, I need what? GCC compiler. Okay, so to execute, create this container, what I do? I start from GCC 7.2 as builder. As builder is a parameter. Okay, so builder will be the intermediate container that will be created for executing this. Okay, so it will immediately create first a container image named builder and copy the src folder that I have just created. Inside the src folder, there is this app.c file. It will be copied into the src. Thereafter, gcc parameter command will be executed to compile this C file. Once it has been executed, it will again create a second container from scratch. Okay, and it will copy from the builder container src app folder's content to the final container scratch, and it will execute the command inside that resulting container. So what is happening here? This intermediate container will be destroyed. Okay, it will dynamically create a new container, and this new container will contain only your app, not GCC. Okay, and this one, if you run a Docker build, something like that, it's great, but you can configure automated build. What is automated build? Automated build is, in fact, if you link your container to a GitHub repository. Okay, so if you link your container to a GitHub repository, what really happens, each time when you execute it, somebody downloads it, it is dynamically compiled. Okay, so how to create an automated build? Do you want me to demonstrate this?
Yes, sir.
Or else you can yourself do it. Okay, but I am going to create an automated build. So here is Chanchal Prodevans. Okay, so no, this is not Chanchal's Prodevans. This one is Chanchal's Prodevans. Okay, so I am going to Chanchal's Prodevans. I'm going to create a new repository. Okay, new repository, CentOS custom my Apache. Okay, this one is CentOS custom my Apache. Okay, let me create a new repository. Okay, repositories and create repository. Okay, name it as auto build. Okay, auto build example. Okay, now you do what? You public, you just connect it to a GitHub repository. Okay, and linked accounts, let's no account is linked. Let me connect it to a link GitHub's account. Okay, so I have a GitHub account, that is Chanchal Bose, I presume. Okay, Chanchal Bose, it is connected. GitHub Chanchal Bose connected. Okay, so now Chanchal Prodevans, let me go to my repositories. Okay, then my Apache. Okay, so what is a new repositories? Have I created that new repository, auto build? Repositories, create repository, name auto build. Okay, and description auto build example. Okay, and then public, and then connected. Okay, auto build triggers a new build, which is git push connected, and select select repository. Okay, Chanchal Bose, select repository. Okay, so I'm going to create a new repository here. Okay, so let's create this one is okay. This one is not mine. I am going to my repositories. Okay, Chanchal, your repositories. Let me go to my repositories. Okay, let me create a new repositories. Okay, so create a new repository and name it as auto build auto build auto build. Okay, description docker auto build example, docker auto build example. Okay, public, and initialize this directory with a readme. Okay, so okay, now let's suppose import code from another repository. Okay, so okay, creating a new file, uploading it. Okay, set up, set desktop. Okay, so everything is all right now. So if I go to auto build, now I should be able to see some sort of okay. Okay, issues, pull request, code. Okay, auto build git. Okay, so I don't want to, I want to Mercurial TFS, something like this. I want to create a new file. Okay, auto build code issues, setup desktop, auto build readme md create. Okay, auto build echo readme md or create a command. Please import code, git push, git remote code. Code, welcome to issues.
Sir, we have to import the code, right?
No, actually you can directly create it from the readme md, create it, thereafter directly you can create a file in GitHub itself. Okay, so for example, I have already created similar code here itself, so my Docker files are already here, but I do it so after 1 year or 2 years, so usually I forget the steps. Okay, so I can show you an example, already existing example. For example, for which I have already created, for example, this one, Chanchal SSH client. This one is already integrated with GitHub repository. Okay, so if you click the tag, okay, so you will find there is a Docker file. Is this one a Docker file? It is integrated to a Docker file already. Okay, overview, latest. No, it is not integrated. This one is not integrated. Okay, so my Ubuntu, oh, this one is the other one. This one is my, this is Chanchal or Prodevans, Chanchal SSH client. Okay, mostly Linux repositories, VSC code, lab test, Tomcat, QBAP, Jenkins build, Docker example. So this one is already integrated and there is a Docker file associated, and this for Docker file is already integrated with my Docker example. Okay, GitHub. Okay, so actually I was trying to create that only. Okay, so you create a complete routine just like this, and this container, for example, Docker example, is already integrated to a GitHub repository. So what really happens when you try to integrate this, I'm not going to take a lot of time because creation of this GitHub repository, because if I want to go through all this, that is git init, then if I do an HTTPS, I can do.
Yes, this is the manual
If I
process.
copy
We
all
can
these
import
commands,
the
manual
code.
process, which I don't want to
Yes.
follow because that would take a lot of
Hmm.
time, because on the
Yes.
Linux console itself, I can copy it and paste it here. I can follow that, but that would consume a lot of time, which I really
But
didn't wanted to do.
but we
Okay.
can import the code, right, sir?
Yes.
From what
Yes, you
already.
can import the code from anywhere if you feel like, if you had the code. So my intention was to demonstrate. Okay, sorry. Where is my Docker file example? This is the Docker file example. Docker file example is here. Actually, usually I prefer creating everything here itself. Okay. So if you want, you can do step by step the way it is done here, following this instruction. Once you have done it, and once you have integrated it with, for example, here we have already connected and we have to select a repository. For example, I can select my Docker example here. Okay. So it is already integrated to that Docker example. Okay. So instead of going through all that. So now once you have done it, if I want to create, click create, it has been created. So what really happens now, this is the public view is this. If you click the public view, I'll do a Docker pull this. Okay, instead of Docker pull, I'll copy this command and I'll paste it here. Okay, Control D, I'm inside the container. If I paste it here and Docker run auto build, what will happen? Actually, Docker will locally compile the entire code because the image is not available here. On my Docker repository, actually the image is not available. So what will happen? Each time somebody tries to do a Docker run, Docker will dynamically take a look at the Docker file. Docker run build auto. No, sorry. It should program Docker run. Manifest for Chanchal was unknown manifest, unknown C Docker run help.
Latest, sir.
Auto build latest locally. Okay, is there any auto build? Pull command copied. This is the pull command. Okay. Test. Okay. Okay. So that latest manifest latest unknown tag latest Docker file. No Docker file available. Chanchal was GitHub example. Okay, Docker file is already here in this. Okay. So this is already functional. Docker example, Chanchal Bose, Docker example. This is already here, Chanchal Bose. From GCC, from this, Chanchal Bose, Docker example, tags, overview, public view, Docker pull, Docker example.latest. This is the same one. Let us try this. Paste.
It will work
Yes,
because it is already there.
because it is already there, but each
You have
time
integrated
downloaded
with
image.
that
Okay,
GitHub.
Docker, Docker pull and Docker run. Okay, multi-stage Docker build demo. Okay, so it is already there. So each time somebody, okay, where is this? My this, okay, overview tag builds. Okay, no auto builds available, Docker files, tags. So how this one is different from this one? Okay. Anyway, I am going to check it later on, but more or less all the steps are already provided here. I don't want to do any sort of troubleshoot here. If you fail and if there is any problem you are facing, you can get in touch. Meanwhile, I'll also check what is going wrong here in this particular case, why it is not working here. Okay. So No overview available tags. There is a no tags. Okay, latest sort by tags. No tags available. Docker file. There is a Docker file. Docker file is already no Docker file available. This is the Docker file. So why it is complaining no Docker file is available? So Docker file is already attached to it. For example, here also in my other the Docker file is it shows the Docker file. Okay, here it is. It is showing the Docker file and it is picking up from this source. Okay, and builds no auto builds available. Only thing is that it should automatically pick up the Docker file. Okay, so let me find out no Docker file. No Docker file repository don't have a Docker file. This repository has a Docker file. So what is the problem with that? Why it is complaining now with it not having a Docker file? Okay, because I can see that this has a Docker file associated. So pulls this manage repository. Okay, I'll check this why it is failing, misbehaving rather, because it is not misbehaving either, because it is already picking up from this container and also picking up the dockers, etc., everything. But this one is not picking up. So I need to do a investigation. But at the end of the day, what does it show? You can host your code in GitHub repository and link that to your container repository. And by doing that, it is expected to work. Okay, Docker pull command auto build, and it will already automatically should be reflected in your Docker file. Okay, I don't know whether it takes some time or not for the Docker file to get reflected. Okay, so Chanchal Prod Evans auto build overview, and so where things are going wrong. Okay, so having said that, I'm going to share
Sir, I
this
have
and
one
share.
question.
Yes,
I have
please.
one question actually. Yeah, so if somebody want to keep their container as a private repository, they don't want it to push our Docker Hub. So what is your suggestion means for the automated build? Means do you recommend to use the Jenkins or some other things for the automated build?
See, Jenkins, etc., are primarily is the highest form, and that is the way you should be configuring your build. In fact, in real world container build configurations, when you do it, in fact, we are doing it day in, day out configuring for enterprises. Everything is configured with Jenkins with a source code repository, whether it is usually it is private source code repository, either GitLab or Bitbucket, something like that, and containers are built in that fashion. Okay, but since the things that I'm trying to show you here are pretty much amateur, are you getting my point? And for
Yes, yes.
source code which are very much open, for example, if you go to any code, for example, if you try to find out in Docker Hub HTTP, okay, HTTP, HTTPD, okay. So if you go here, each of these will be associated with a Docker file, and these Docker file, if you click this, it will automatically take you to a source code repository. So each of those source code repositories shows you the actual Docker file. Okay, but these are created by the professional organizations or official images that is created. Okay, so they are continuously maintained by large number of people. Okay, and usually no building is involved here. Okay, so it starts from a base image Debian Master Slim, which is the most popular container image, and Debian Slim is the most popular, and on top of that the entire thing has been created. So Jenkins is not followed here because this is a collectively open kind of thing, and no compilation is involved. So there is one maintainer and who is doing everything, and the source code is open. But if you want to have a versionized, and all these versions they are already keeping here as different versions, sorry, for version 2.3, version 2.43 Alpine, if you So each of them has a different link. Okay, Alpine 3.1. Okay, so instead of using Jenkins, they have configured various different repositories. This one uses Debian Slim, this one uses Alpine, and so on. Okay, but in real world scenario, it is always Jenkins and other tools which is integrated with your container orchestration. Okay, it is not only GitHub. Now people talk about GitOps. That is compiling your code, creating your artifacts, and orchestrating those artifacts in an infrastructure. Infrastructure is also automated, which is now called as GitOps. Okay, so anyway, that is a better method. Okay, having said that, uh, can you tell us the purpose of auto build? Okay, purpose of auto build is simple. If I just make any change in my Docker file itself or in the source code, let's assume I was showing you my auto build source code, isn't it? Where is this? This one is my auto. No, not this one. Is this one? This one, yes, this one. If I make any change to this Docker file, or if I make any changes in the source file, okay, this is the application C code. If I make any change in the C code, each time if it is integrated to auto build, okay, it will automatically recompile it. Okay, but when we are doing this, we have not seen any compilation. Why? The reason is Docker has seen that there is no change that has taken place recently, and already compiled image containers are already available. So had there been any indication some sort of change has gone into the GitHub repository here, then Docker will automatically rebuild the container image. Are you getting my point? So auto build, the advantage of Docker auto build is each time it is used, it is dynamically compiled and reflecting the source code in the GitHub repository. Okay. Almost majority of the containers images that you see are usually auto build. Okay. Since they are already integrated using a Docker file. If there is a change in the Docker file, automatically a new build will take place. Okay. So the official images that you see here, they are all automated build. Okay. So if you don't put any parameter, by default, this one, the latest one, will by default will get downloaded. But why I am not seeing the building of this image? The reason is this has already been built once and there are n number of download has taken place. So that's why you don't get to see a rebuilding of this image on your host system. Okay, but if this container, if this GitHub repository is updated, you'll get to see a rebuilding of this image. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, so yes, git clone, git init, all this I could well have done it, but I just want to avoid that right now because that will only extend the time of this presentation, and I'm going to share this documentation. If you face any problem, just let me know. Okay, and because I'm creating a WhatsApp group. Okay, so having said that, anything else, any other questions here? Oh, this is the WhatsApp group that they have already shared. Okay, so chat, WhatsApp group, invite, join chat. Okay, so okay, anyway, so I am going to join to this group anyway. So all of you are expected to join to this group, and once you have now joined, then we can get ourselves connected in the face. If you face any problem, we can always sort it out. Okay, now any final questions to me? Because some final announcement will be made by Shushma and Shiba. Okay, it appears that you don't have any questions. So Shiba, could you please take over?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, so whatever announcement that you want to make, please make it. Okay, so
Um,
and once it's done, you can call it a day. You can stop recording. Okay, so that's it.
yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm leaving this meeting. Okay.
Yeah. So guys, so here we have a assignment. There are some MCQ questions are there, so we'll encourage you to attempt that MCQ questions. Okay, what you learned from the last 3 days, including today. So here is the link I said to everyone. Okay, so please go to this link and some MCQ questions are there, and please fill up these ones. And and you will get the recording sessions of the 4 day recording sessions uh, if you give us the LinkedIn post and this assignment as well as the feedback. So we will send you the recording sessions, all the 4 days and the documents, what are the consults are with him to your mail ID. And this one is the feedback form, so please feel free to give your feedback on how the session, okay, what the things you like most and what the things you need to improve in the further sessions.
Yes. Sorry. Sorry.
So here I will thank to Chansal sir to participate this session and deliver the session in the last 3 days. The behalf of the Computer Pencil Solutions, I will thank to Chansal sir his valuable time, and I will thank to all the participants in the 4 day that continue to join our program. And I hope you will enjoy these sessions. And another announcement here is that Chansal sir announced in the beginning that we are starting a new OpenShift 4.2. Okay, in this 11th May, and who are attended the sessions and they have the 20% discount. We are providing a 20% discount on them, and who give the best 3 LinkedIn post about the sessions. Okay, you will claim the 25% on the training fee. So the training date is uh, 11th May. The Chansal sir will take the sessions, and I hope we will go through the session also. Thank you guys to thank this to join this session. If you have any questions or any type of